Hey guys, it's Robert Gardner. Thank you for tuning in today. We're on various channels, I think my Facebook page as well as YouTube. I'm here with Rebecca Brumfield. She hails from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at least that's where she's living now. And we are going to, I think likely, Rebecca, we had talked about the potential to discuss the things that we wish massage therapists knew during the presentation. Of course, we can venture off in whatever direction, but can you introduce yourself and give them a little bit of information about you, including where they can contact you?
Sure. So, like Robert said, my name is Rebecca, and I live in Baton Rouge. I've been owning a successful day spa for about 9 years now, going on 10. Love every minute of it, despite some failures and setbacks and getting back up again, which that's what all business owners go through, right? And then I also started an online community for all female entrepreneurs in the spa and wellness industry. Kind of a little bit like what you do, Robert, except for just women, and then also including estheticians, energy workers, yoga practitioners. So basically women in the holistic health industry who want to grow their business and succeed and break through those blocks that are holding them back, and people who want to find solutions, not excuses. So yeah, I've been in this industry for a while, love every second of it, and I'm excited to see where everything's going in both of our worlds.
Cool. We'll certainly get into the conversation I talked about and the stuff we wish, practitioners knew. Is there anything on your mind at the moment you want to talk about?
I guess it really depends if you're self-employed or if you're a sole practitioner. So one thing that I wish that people knew is how much education they have to have, regardless if you've been in this industry for 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years, you're always going to learn something. And if you approach things with the mindset that you already know everything there is to know about something, you're never going to learn and you're never going to move forward. I've been practicing cupping for almost 10 years now, and I've learned, I learned cupping in Mexico and Turkey from one of my good friends who's a Chinese acupuncturist, from several mentors, and I still don't think I know enough about it. And it's so important to keep educating yourself and not to just take these BS online. Not all courses are BS that are online, but people who just rack up CEUs online just to get their license renewed and never take an in-person course or collaborate or communicate or even meet up with other therapists. I think that's the quickest way to run yourself into the ground. One of the quickest ways. But burnout is a real thing, man, and you have to continuously keep learning and be open to learning and not just be in super defense mode all the time. I think having an open mind and really learning from your colleagues and collaborating with them is one of the most important things you could do for yourself overall, that will lead to so many other things that will help you be successful in this business.
I think across the board, I see a lack of questioning, and it's not like I see other entrepreneurs talk about education periodically, and there's a lot of conversation online about a higher education, like in colleges even, because of the amount of student loan debt compared to the value of having a degree. And I think as a former philosophy student, the one thing that I did pick up is, even though I was really learning the history of Western philosophy at LSU, primarily what I was most interested in was questioning authority and questioning the fundamental underpinnings. It was almost like where anthropology hit archaeology, hit physics, hits chemistry, hits mathematics. I was interested in this sort of interdisciplinary thing that required critique, and it required questioning, and it required critical analysis. I don't see enough of that. Mostly what I see is massage therapists, because that's what I deal with specifically. They just want somebody like a guru to just dispense the truth to them. And preferably, if they can make it one-click shopping, that's what they prefer. It's like, it's going to solve all my problems, this one thing. And I'm like, that's not building a business.
No, and I tell my clients all the time, like, you didn't get this pain in 20 minutes. It's not going away in 20 minutes. And just like if you want to get a six-pack and get ripped, it's going to yield better results if you go to the gym and eat healthy and have good habits. It takes a variety of a lot of different things. And I'm a little woo-woo, and I'm not that great of anatomy, but I really like learning about things. So I I love talking to different people and learning different perspectives. And then I can then form my own conclusion to what works best for myself and my ideal clients. But being stuck and pigeonholed into one thing, I do see that it's a detriment to people. And like you said, like things are always progressing and learning and stuff. Like recently these articles have been coming out like, not fibromyalgia, the myofascial system is this new system, and all the therapists are like, well, duh, like we've been knowing about this for years, and the doctors are now just starting to learn that in school. And it baffles me, how much we really can learn, just keep learning.
Yeah, just not taking things as just like rote assumptions. I think because you and I deal with massage business, a lot of what I see in technological development in the last 20 years, massage schools seem to be running business and teaching business like it's still the yellow pages. And really all I want people to really do is go to Google, type in, how do I, or what is, and you can do, so much information is just free. It's like it's already mostly been organized for you by Google. Just questioning things gets a long way to helping discover essentially what are better questions and the limits of our actual knowledge. As an artist, you and I as body workers are always going to hone our craft, make the cupping better, make the body work better. That's an ongoing thing. If you're a chef, you're always going to refine technique, knife skills, cooking, whatever, different techniques. You're going to, work at food chemistry. But at the same time, the capacity to develop and change comes from being soft and having enough neuroplasticity to be able to question things and figure out, like, not necessarily what is truth, but it's the ability to self-critique and change.
I agree with that. And I'm really big on mindset and, going to counseling and receiving coaching and talking to people who've done a massive amount of self-growth. And that just reminded me of something I was discussing with my partner earlier. He's an artist, and I was like, you should really do online classes and courses. People would love to learn from you. And he says, but the people are going to critique me, and they're going to say all kinds of terrible shit. And I said, first of all, the people that you're worried about saying stuff, they're higher up than you. They do not care what you're doing. Only people who want to learn from you are going to care. Why are you worried about people who are already 10 steps ahead of you? They're not worried about you, and you're worried about being chastised by them. They really don't care about what somebody below them is doing. And if they do, they're probably not all who they say they are, because they have more than enough time on their hands to focus on their own. And I feel like a lot of us, I've been in the industry for 10 years. You've been in it for longer than I, Robert. And we don't take advice from people who have been doing this for less time than us, or who haven't reached at least a level of success that we have. So I feel like a lot of people are looking for advice in the wrong place. Like, oh, why would I need advice from somebody who's been in this industry for just 1 year,
I have a lot of confusion about massage therapists specifically. The fact that I could ascend to the top of our industry says something about our industry. So I don't know if I just degraded the massage institution or talked poorly about myself, But at the same time, like, I don't know. I've had people do this in massage entrepreneurs. Someone one time we had a fight online, and she said, "You don't have a marketing degree," and I'm like,
so.
Like, I was so flummoxed by even the concept of, like, you had to have a marketing degree to teach business and entrepreneurial skills to massage therapists that I didn't know what to say. I mean, I was just like, they don't teach Twitter at Harvard Business School. Like, hashtags? Like, what? I don't even know what to say, because everything is changing so rapidly. It's not really about your degree or even just a particular skill set that you learn in school. It's about how quickly can you do research and figure out answers. I'm constantly going into areas that I just don't know. Like, people will ask us, like, all the time, they're like, how did you figure out this subscription service thing you're doing? And I'm like, what? Like, I have to describe, like, an arc of 12 years.
They could just look it up online, and I mean, And speaking of marketing, that's obviously my strong point. And I know you're pretty great at it as well, Robert. And you had mentioned the yellow pages in school. And I swear to God, my teachers told me to literally put out an ad in the yellow pages and Craigslist. I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, Facebook Live wasn't even a thing then, but Facebook was. And I've spent so much time collaborating with with local mommy bloggers in the area and other business professionals like estheticians and yoga instructor. I go to a brewery right down the road on their yoga nights to do fire cupping demos. Like, you can't just snap your fucking fingers and get clients overnight. And I'm sure this question, like, just like me and my group, the most annoying question I could come across is, how do I get more clients? And I'm like, oh God, I could audibly hear the swish in my eyeballs rolling in the back of my head, because you have to answer, and I have a great blog post I can link to this video, but about a truth bomb. When people ask that question, it's like, okay, well, in order for me to answer that question, you need to answer these 30 questions I have for you about, do you have a target market? Where are you located? Are you in a rural or suburban area? Are you a fresh grad? Like, good God.
Just want clients. Why don't you just answer my question?
Yeah, because there's a one-size-fits-all solution for everything, right?
Yeah. It's amazingly complex because fundamentally I see it as a business problem. It's not a massage problem. It has nothing to do with the art. Massage therapists are starving artists, and most artists, here's what I see. Musicians, this is a classic one. And if you're a musician friend of mine, don't take offense to this. Musicians will talk to me and we'll have conversations about music. And I'm a big fan of like classic kind of rock, album-oriented rock from years ago, long before online streaming services. And musicians will get angry because they're like, well, I can't really sell an album anymore. And I go, what? And they're like, well, I can't. I'm like, dude, are you trying to make Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon? Like, this is a different era. Like, you don't need Abbey Road Studios. Do you have a laptop? Like, you have digital distribution worldwide.
Yeah, I go straight to iTunes when downloading a new album. I mean, I do have vinyl records too. I'm an old soul, but
sure, no, I understand. But it's like albums didn't go away, CDs didn't go away. Digital distribution just added other layers. It's like if you're a struggling band, this is what I just don't understand. I'm fundamentally lost from the predominant culture of massage therapists. When I see musicians talking about this, I'm like, get on Twitch. Start a channel for your band, and every Friday night have the slumber party, hang out in your pajamas concert for an hour for your fans.
Yeah,
what is the problem?
One of my friends spends a ton of money donating to people on Twitch doing video games. I'm like, for fuck's sake, people can make money doing video games, but massage therapists are like, well, I can't get a client in the door. And in my case, I started doing, and you know how closed-minded and conservative Baton Rouge, Louisiana is. So it was like pulling teeth to get people interested in cupping, and nobody knew what cupping was until I brought it to Baton Rouge. My acupuncturist friend did it, but never advertised it. So fast forward, 3-4 years ago, whenever this big flood happened and Michael Phelps won the Olympics, I had 4 or 5 publications and media outlets reaching out to me saying, oh my God, we want to interview you on cupping therapy because we've seen your pictures from the past 7 or 8 years, because I brought something to Baton Rouge that wasn't here before. So if you don't think you have a market for something, you fucking make a market for it.
Yes.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah. Making a market's very different. Just 1 second for a commercial break. So say more again about creating a market.
Well, of course, it depends on, where you're located, what your ideal client is. But if you're really, really passionate about something and nobody else in your area does it, it's simple. Just freaking do it. Put it on your website, put it online. You can, if you're not too techie like us, you can hire somebody to help you with it, do SEO, but if something's not available in your area, that doesn't mean people aren't interested in it. That just means that you're going to be the pioneer doing it. And I can count on two hands now the number of therapists that do cupping in Baton Rouge. And that's partially because they learned it from me and I taught them because I want them to do it right. But this is something about creating a market. Speaking of what I do with cupping therapy. So people always ask me, Rebecca, you're like the OG in cupping therapy in Baton Rouge. Why would you teach other therapists to do it? You're saturating the market. And I said, no. Let me give you an example of how this works for me. I teach therapists how to do it. A, so they're doing it right and not creating a bad name for it and fucking up people. So I look bad. B, whenever I'm not able to accommodate a client, I have a great referral system to send people to. And C, I've been doing this for 10 years. So if somebody else does cupping therapy on a client and they're walking around in Whole Foods in a tank top with hickeys on their back, I'm still going to be the first, second, third thing that pops up on Google. People are still going to go to me first. So they are actually marketing for me. So why would I not teach and support people? Why would I not, like keep that momentum going?
There was speaking of like higher education and business, years ago, as I was starting to build my business, starting to really turn my focus and attention toward building, really towards business for the first time. I'd worked on the art for years, but I'd never really worked on the business. A client I had talked to had a friend who was in school getting his MBA. I set up a meeting with him to just have a quick free consult, 30 minutes over coffee. And I explained to him about what I was doing with Thai massage and why I thought it was important, and said, yeah, I think I'm going to teach. And he's like, oh, absolutely not. Don't do that. Absolutely do not teach. And I was like, why? And he's like, well, your students are going to take your clients.
No, that's not how it works.
Because here's the thing, he's in business school. And I very politely was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. And ended the meeting and went and did exactly the opposite of what he said. And that's why my whole business has grown. That's why I get so confused, because it's like that sort of thinking, like I don't understand what's going on in that person's brain and they're in business school. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like Thai massage was completely unrepresented. You can still, in Austin, there's only one facility that I know of that offers mat-based Thai massage of any skill level in Austin. I've been teaching here for over 10 years. Facilities won't even allow mat-based work. So I have to take apprentices and teach them how to build a practice on their own, which is like reinventing the wheel again and again and again because there's no facility. The massage therapists in my world, because I'm so focused on mat-based stuff, they refuse to evolve. I keep saying that I think the mat is the future, but much like you talk about with cupping, mat-based work was something I had to create. I had to kind of sneak in because they wouldn't allow. Now that I'm a complete private practice, people still bitch at me because my sessions are $240 for 3 hours. Like that's the only thing on my menu of services is either a 3-hour session or a 90-minute abdominal session.
And I know I don't think I could ever spend 90 minutes on abdominals, but I know that you had mentioned to me before, like all this interview, how, you've definitely been chastised for it as well. These Thai purists are coming in telling you that you're doing things wrong. And honestly, who gives a fuck about their opinions, because the results for their clients speak for themselves. And then those clients are going to go after bitching and go eat at a Thai Mexican fusion restaurant. Like, you know what I mean? Like things don't have to be pure to be effective. Things can be a fusion of many different things in order to get the results that people want. Who cares what it's labeled as? We don't need to slap a label on something in order for it to be effective for our clients and for them to get the results.
Yeah, branding is important. And I think when it comes to cupping, it depends on what you're trying to spread. I do know that creating a market is completely different than trying to take advantage of an already established market. Two very, very different things, two very different problems. Sometimes I'll tell the massage therapist that the problem that they're having is they're selling massage. And they're like, what? And it's like, all the consumer wants to know is all these people sell massage. What's the difference? This one charges $20 more. This one includes cupping, or, that's all the consumer wants to know. It's like, if a massage is a commodity, then it's all the same to a consumer who doesn't have any knowledge base, unless they already have a connection with you specifically. because they know you, they've connected with you. We do deal with a very interpersonal, intimate profession.
That's exactly why I just started doing charging a flat rate for my time instead of saying, oh, it's extra for hot stones, it's extra for cupping, it's extra for deep tissue. Clients don't care. They do not care about the process. They care about the results.
Yeah.
And we, like you said, we need to sell the result and the emotions that people are feeling afterwards, and not the fact that it's massage. I mean, there's 300 different types of modalities out there, and
the funniest thing is I don't get blowback from clients, and I don't really get blowback from students. Both of those are growing increasingly. The blowback is from the massage industry. They're like, this is basically like, this isn't massage. And I'm like, great. So I don't need a massage license. I don't need a massage establishment license. I can hire people off the street and train them. This is awesome. And they go, oh, shit. And I'm like, well, at what point when you change it, does it stop being massage?
I've started to notice that the only people who really care if we're licensed are other vindictive massage therapists who want to take people down because they're jealous. Because I want to be on the road in the next couple of years, like traveling, doing the RV life thing. And I posted in an RV group, like, oh my God, like I have over 700 5-star reviews as a massage therapist. And if I, go on the road, like, would anybody be interested in like getting a massage after a long hike? And it got so many likes and comments, and people were like, hell yeah, oh my God, I need you. And then a couple therapists were in the group, and they're like, well, will you be licensed? And I'm like, actually, yes, I would be licensed in the states that I'm in, because I'm only going to be parked in maybe 2 or 3 places a year. And second of all, nobody really fucking cares. And third of all, as long as I don't use the word license, it doesn't really matter, because the state board's the only, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
it's just
individual
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, individual therapists, what I notice is it all deals with perspective and what they have to deal with. So when it comes to licensing, the individual therapist only thinks about their license to practice in their city or state. They don't think about me as an educator trying to go to different states to educate people, to share information. And it's like barrier. And all of those barriers means that I have to increase the cost to be able to get around all this stuff. Just to be able to share information.
That's why I stopped teaching and traveling, because I didn't want to deal, like, even though it was nationally certified, there's no such fucking thing as nationally certified anyways. I still had to go through each state. So what was the point in being nationally certified? I just think that big organization, in my opinion, is a crock of shit. But, I think it would be great if I could wish for one thing to see in this industry. It would be to actually have like a nationally certified type.
Yeah, much like America, I can sit in the middle of the chaos and I can watch the toilet flush. And much like George Carlin, as an observer, just go, oh, isn't this interesting? I don't have any sort of like emotional stake in the outcome. It's like, it's going to do whatever it does. I'm just going to keep teaching. Like we get into weird conversations because we're teaching online via subscription service. And like, I'm not lying when I say this. Somebody contacted me, this has been many months ago, maybe a year ago. Somebody contacted me from Mauritius.
From where?
Like, Mauritius. Exactly. I had to go to Google because it's been a long time since geography. And Mauritius is an island off the coast of Madagascar.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was.
And I'm like, and I had that moment where you're like, what is the law in Mauritius? And I'm like, I don't care. It's like, right? I'm just selling information to people who can use it. And, like I got banned from some Washington State massage groups because they were saying I didn't get informed consent and all this stuff. And I went, guys, it's just a video, like with a colleague. And they went, yeah, but just one, video. And I'm like, dude, am I supposed to post a 3-minute video with a 15-minute, like, danger, this move could, cause blood, clots, or I don't know, like heart attack, stroke. I mean, come on.
I think that's what Scott and I call the concerned police, and or mother hens, as he coined it, And I love teaching people. But people are like, hey, are your courses CEUs? I'm like, no, they are not CEUs, because I'm not going to sit here and be regulated and have somebody tell me what I can and cannot teach when it comes to business and growth and business skills and building up yourself. This is not a modality. this is real life stuff. How do I get more clients? How do I make money? How do I become successful? You can, and it's sad that I had to validate it and be like, hey, this only costs you one extra client, and then people can go and look at Thai massage online all over the internet and, piece together like a 300-piece puzzle that none of the pieces match. Or you can pay, a couple dollars a month, forego a Starbucks latte, and then have everything in sequence in a row.
That sequence in a row. One of the things I've had to think about is I can give most of what I do away for free on YouTube. And there's a benefit to doing so. Then you go, okay, so why would people subscribe? And it's like, because they don't have to look at ads. I'm able to organize it just how I want it inside our subscription and go, here's everything. Here's every class I've taught for the last 3 years. Here you go. Here's every private training I've done. Here you go. Here's all the questions people ask me in the Facebook group. Here you go. Answered in video. And at the same time, what do I hear? But you can't learn online. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you keep thinking that. I hear cash registers going off when you say it. Like, in the end, information
you can't.
Organizing information to allow people to learn what they can online. It's not as good as in person. Everybody knows that. I haven't been back to Baton Rouge in over 10 years.
Don't.
I can't educate people in person unless I'm there. And then I have to deal with another set of state laws. So there are impediments. I think that when it comes to consumers, what you don't do, even though you and I get frustrated, massage therapists who are watching this, you can't get irritated about what consumers want. Well, this is absurd. The person called and they want a session today. And I'm like, yeah? So either you have one available or you don't.
Or you get smart and you put those people on a cancellation list. So whenever I hate that. Like, I see that question like pop up 10 times a day and I'm like, create a cancellation list. People have crazy hectic schedules. It's not that they don't care about your boundaries. It's that they don't know them. They're just, all they're doing is inquiring. That is it. It's that simple. If you can't do it, like it's, but what you said about people who say that they can't learn online, they can't learn because they don't want to learn. It's really that simple. Like, we all, seriously.
It all goes back to me. Every time it goes back to George Carlin, it's like, what about something else? So maybe something else around here sucks, like the public.
Everything.
It always goes back to that for me, because in the end, it's like, massage entrepreneurs, I took great pride in getting the group started and it started to grow. And it's like, it's turning into this monster because it just represents the mediocrity of the United States, the mediocrity of humanity itself. It's like this mundane, we've got this free exchange of information amongst like nearly 14,000 massage therapists. And what results? Where do you guys find feet?
I remember seeing a post a couple days ago by Sanji that's like, okay, so which one of you assholes has actually implemented any of the advice and gotten success from it? And I'm like, yes. Like, I do want to touch on that too, about the whole asshole thing. Like, why are you going to ask a question online and not take the advice? Are you just looking to validate reasons why you're not going to do it anyways? Or are you actually going to take that advice and then 3 months later ask the same shit in the group again, or go post in other groups hoping for a different answer? Like, no, the way to find a solution is to take action, and it's to do. You might fail. Who cares? I hope you do fail, because that's how you learn. That's how I learned.
We'll take a break for commercials, just one bit. And continue with what you're saying, Rebecca.
It completely slipped my mind, Robert. I'm so sorry.
Assholes.
Oh, assholes. Yes, my favorite topic. God, every mentor I know has definitely done a video or post about this. But guys, you can't just like ask questions and then, I mean, you can ask a question and then not take the advice. But what's the purpose of it? Like, people all the time. My favorite one, especially in Badass Body Work, is because it's all women. Do you think this guy's a creep? And I immediately delete those because I'm like, if you If you have to ask a question,
America, yes.
yeah, if you have to ask a question, the answer is yes. Why are you posting online to validate not following your intuition? Your business is not going to go under if you don't see one person.
Interpersonal dynamics and connection. So much of it is important, not only for the intimacy we deal with which is massage, but also in business. I talk about, they do business with people they know, like, and trust. Being able to have people that you connect with. Like when we talk about target market sounds like a really dry term. But target market just means that Rebecca works with the people you work with. Like we've had this conversation about badass body workers and the fact that you only allow women into the group, but women are your target market. Women are the ones that you're talking to, that you're having conversations with. It's understood by most therapists. They just go, well, but everybody needs massage. And I go, sure. Now, do you want to work with everybody?
Everybody needs to eat too, but McDonald's and Ruth's Chris don't serve the same market. I mean, it's really such a simple concept to grasp, but I feel like that's why a lot of therapists fail, is that they're like, oh, I want to work on everyone. No, that's the quickest way to burn out. You might as well be at Massage Envy.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
It's a complex issue. There always seems to be this divide that I see for massage therapists. There seems to be this divide between massage and then all other business. Like they completely understand brand when it comes to In-N-Out, Wendy's, McDonald's, Whataburger. They completely understand brand when it comes to shoes, Nike, Reebok, Adidas.
Audi, BMW, Mercedes. I mean,
yeah, but they don't understand it in massage. I'm like, what brands are there in massage? And they're like, and I go, modalities or failed brands.
I like that. I like that.
You see where I'm going with that? Yeah. And it's like I have conversations where I wind up saying things. This happens all the times in massage entrepreneurs. And I'm not just being a jerk. I actually am asking a question. People will ask, well, myofascial release. And I'll say, what is myofascial release? And that's my only comment. Now, nobody responds because they just bypass it for everything else. But they're not thinking deeply enough about, well, if you're going to sell myofascial release, who wants to buy myofascial release? What is myofascial release? What benefits does myofascial release give the consumer that massage does not? Yeah. I think we'll be right back. I think we lost Rebecca. We'll see if we can pick her up again. Man, I had a nosebleed last night. Horrible allergies. Well, it's exceedingly easy on my end.
Hey, sorry, my fucking phone went. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
So I got a caution hot temperature alert because of this disgusting weather here. So my phone actually overheated and went into emergency mode. So sorry about that. Oh God, yeah, I'm inside now, so hopefully it's not too acoustical. That's why I was sitting outside in my car to avoid all the bouncing around. So my bad. I'm glad it stayed on. But yeah, I think we left off where Robert was saying modalities are failed brands, and I never thought of it that way. And now my mind is like,
I think. Are we recording again, by the way? Oh, okay, just making sure. No, I get lost. We're doing all this production over here. I'm I'm not sure about exact definitions, and I would ask therapists, what is a modality? Inevitably, what they would always say is that a modality was like, they'd look at it as like, okay, they've learned the massage, now they've got a tack-on service. Cupping is a tack-on service instead of its own individual thing. So, for instance, if I say, okay, do you need a license to do cupping? They're like, oh, because it's not massage, right? Like, you get into these weird conversations about that stuff where I would look at myofascial release, look at trigger point therapy, look at active isolated stretching, look at all these things and think, it's like, I think they're failed brands, because I don't know anybody who uses just one tool.
Oh, you have the purists that refuse to use tools. I remember whenever I launched my course, my little freebie course that I did on how to find the right tools for your massage practice, I actually had people inboxing me hating and being like, I'm a purist and I don't need to use tools. And I'm like, cool deal. I don't fucking care. Also, this is nothing new. I'm just putting all the info in one place. Otherwise, you could just go off and research it yourself. That's where I pulled the info from, is from all these threads and topics like, oh, what's your favorite tool? Well, okay, guys, here's the 20 most popular things that people use. Here you go.
You organized it for them.
Yeah, it's, oh my God. Like, that's why I invest so much in classes and coaching and subscriptions and programs, because it's there. Like, the system is there. It's, and it's organized, like you said, and people wonder why Massage Envy is taking over. It's because they're organized. They have policies and procedures and protocols and standards, not all over the fucking place, just, winging it like most therapists do. And that's why they're successful, period.
Yeah. Talk about, brands in the massage industry. This conversation would come up in class. I would say, what major brands are there in our industry? And they'd say, well, Massage Envy. And then Massage Heights,
Hand and Stone,
and Zeal, and Hand and Stone. And I would essentially say, of those brands, which ones are owned by massage therapists? Because Massage Envy is not owned by massage therapists. Soothe and Zeal, I'm almost positive, are not owned by massage therapists. But the most well-known brands in the massage industry are not owned by massage therapists.
Because they're business oriented and business minded, which is completely different than, like you said, than being a therapist.
Well, entrepreneurs look at our industry, they understand that the public wants massage, and they're figuring out a way to make money off of massage therapists delivering that. It's just, par for the course. When it comes to brand building for the individual therapist, the first part is individual, meaning personal brand building. Personal brand building allows people to stand out in their community. So my assumption is, I know you from online. We haven't hung out in Baton Rouge. My assumption is you have a large social network in Baton Rouge and you're well known.
Yes, and we hung out in Austin. But yes, I do. I have a ton of colleagues and other therapists and people to refer to. And I'm really big on personal brand too. I mean, I wrote a blog post, which I can link to this video too, on the power of having a personal brand. And when we think of certain people, let's take Kanye West and Oprah, for example, there's certain feelings and certain adjectives that we would tack on to these people because they've portrayed themselves in a certain way. So that's how they're known to people. And that's, like you said, the like, know, and trust factor with people. We have to really hone in on that. And that's how we attract our ideal market. And
yeah, I don't really know how far to take polarization. So, like, Kanye,
I thought you were going to say, I don't know.
Very controversial. I mean, Oprah is controversial in her own way too. I don't think the Texas Cattle Association likes her very much. You have to figure out who your audience is and draw those people in. And I've been playing with polarization. That was kind of how I got banned in Washington State, because I'm pushing people's edges because they're living in these small little confined boxes that I destroyed years ago. They don't understand. It took 17 years for me to shoot a video where I sat on people and actually showed what I do in session. The clients love it. I've never had any issue. The people who have problems with it are massage therapists. They're like, this is different. We don't like this. You're a witch. Burn him. That's how it rolls. They think, oh, I'm extremely open-minded. You present an idea they don't like, burn him.
That's exactly it. I mean, oh my God. And that reminds me, there's like a psychological term for that, like cognitive dissonance, where if you believe something, you are going to automatically look for evidence that upholds and supports that one particular belief and completely shut out everything else that doesn't even support it at all. And that's a big thing of being polarizing as well. I mean, it happens all the time in politics. It happens in our industry. It happens in our relationships with our clients, like clients who hold on to pain, and they're wondering why they're not getting better. Well, maybe it's because you're so attached to your pain because that's what defines you. You're afraid to get rid of it because then who are you without it?
I think love wins, and integrity, communicating with people, expressing care, even over social media in video. I think long term that stands up. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about the arc of justice being a long arc, and I believe that to be absolutely the case. In the end, all I do is keep putting up video and working with my fans.
Yeah, like, why would you work on
I always, I'll get a negative YouTube comment. I do this for fun. This is me on a Saturday night, by the way. Everybody else is out partying, is what I do. I go to my YouTube and look at negative comments, and I go to that person's profile, and there's no videos. And I'm like, wow, it must be great to contribute nothing, but just complain about what other people do.
So I did a cupping video a while back on Facebook Live, and somebody from my group saw it. And they said, great video, but I do have one suggestion. I don't like that lighter. You should really use a longer lighter. And I'm like, really? You're gonna sit here and critique the type of lighter that I'm using? Seriously? I was like,
small details. Yeah. Well, I don't like him. He's got long hair. I don't like him. He's fat. I don't like he said this word. I don't know, It's like, okay, I don't even know who you are. I just scroll past, go to another post, go to another platform. You got Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, go.
I haven't even heard of TikTok. I'm learning a lot. What I think we should do is gather up all of our hate mail and do a mean tweets video.
Yeah. Perfect.
That would be amazing. I would love to do a mean tweets video. Luckily I don't have too much online about my forum, but in some colleagues and stuff locally, they've said some dumb shit, and I think it would be so much fun to read out all of our hater mail online. There was one girl that made a whole song about her YouTube comments and all the terrible negative things that people said, and she actually took them together and made lyrics out of them and made a song. It was awesome.
So we didn't actually, I don't think, completely address what we said we were going to address in the beginning, which is the things that we thought we therapists knew. So, what things, because the thing is, we can always commiserate and talk about all the stuff we deal with and the frustrations, the challenges. But what are the things that you wish you could explain to therapists that they just don't seem to get? Cut for a break for just a quick second.
Massage sheets or Google Sheets?
Likely sheets for your table.
We should say no sheets. Let's just use Clorox wipes and towels. Make it easy. Laundry sucks.
Yeah, I douse myself in kerosene and light myself on fire.
There's people who do that in the Philippines with their feet, though.
Yeah. I just like that monk, I forget his name, during the Vietnam War, who lit himself on fire in protest and just go on into the next incarnation. I feel like that guy most days. And it sterilizes as it burns. So.
Oh, I thought.
Sure. We're good. That's fine. So, hey guys, we're here with Rebecca Brumfield from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was just committing harikiri and sacrificing myself to the gods. She's a therapist and a spa owner. I guess I would say a spa owner, educator in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We were just having a conversation about
bloopers.
Oh, well, bloopers. Why not? About the thing that we wish massage therapists knew.
Yeah, one thing too, Robert, that I wish therapists knew is it's okay to collaborate. It's okay to collaborate with other people.
Absolutely not. Never collaborate. Live in scarcity mentality. There's not enough pie to go around. You're going to starve to death. Rebecca, don't tell them that.
Now, you're definitely sounding like the opposite of me and Scott right now. You know, the whole massage martyr. You know, I do think, and not even necessarily with other therapists as well, but we have such a dog-eat-dog mentality in this industry. And it's always like, we feel so alone in this industry, right? And how dare we refer to another therapist? How dare we have somebody to help us out or learn from? But not even just therapists, but collaborate with your local community. Go and, you know, partner with nonprofits and bloggers and influencers in your community. Learn how to reach out to media and publications so they can market for you. You know, there's so much legwork that other people can do if you just know the right people and if you put in a little bit of effort. And I've done events and connected with people 2 years ago that I haven't heard from, you know, in years and months. And then down the road, I'm like, oh yeah, we met at this thing, you know, or hey, there's this event coming up. You're the first person I thought of because I met you at this networking thing. Get out in the community. You don't have to be alone. And maybe you don't want to start with connecting with other therapists at first. That's okay. But when you help somebody else reach their goals, you're going to reach yours a lot quicker as well. And that's one reason why I started Badass Body Workers too, is I wanted women to see how women is catty as fuck.